Hello students, I am Dr. PC Cambodia, Associate Professor in the Department of English, BSR, Government Arts College, Alwar, Rajasthan. This video class is for the students of MA Final English Literature, Paper First, Principles of Criticism or Literary Theory. The critic that we are going to discuss is Aristotle, and the topic for this video class is plot construction. Plot is a series of well knitted incidents that happen one after the other. Since there is a series of incidents, we have to check that if any incident is taken as a series and then the construction of the plot suffers terribly, then that is essential part of that plot and that incident cannot be done away with, that is, it cannot be removed. Suppose there is yet another incident which is in the series, and if we take out that incident and the overall structure of the plot does not undergo any impact or change, then that part or that event which has become a link in the series is just superfluous. It is to be removed. So we have to check which of the incidents are essential to be kept in the structure of the plot and which of the incidents are superfluous, which are not needed, and hence they are to be removed. Aristotle divides the length of the plot in three parts. First part is beginning, second part is middle, and the third part is the end. He says beginning is that point which starts the plot construction, middle is that before which half of the series of events proceeds and half of the series of events comes after that. That is, middle is halfway through towards both the ends, and the end is that part after which nothing is there as far as plot construction is concerned. If we pay attention to what Aristotle says, then the part in the modern tragedies that is called as epilogue cannot be put in the plot construction. Say for example, we got one incident. Saint John is a tragedy by G.B. Shaw, and epilogue is there. The epilogue comes after the end, and it shows Saint John once again appearing on the stage after the death. In that case, Aristotle will not approve. Of course, Aristotle is not present today in the modern civilization, but if we apply his concepts of the plot construction, then Aristotle's concept of the construction of the plot does not approve attachment of an epilogue to the plot construction. Aristotle further says that the plot should be of appropriate length. In order to give what is appropriate length, he quotes an example of the organic beauty of an organism. He says that if an organism is very small, tiny, we will not be able to visualize it, see it properly, and we shall not be able to appreciate its beauty because it is so tiny that we will have to stress our looks or our vision would be blurred. But on the other hand, there is an organism which is too big to look at in one go or in one frame of our sight. Say, for example, if there is an organism of the size of a mountain, then we will have to keep on changing the views, one frame, another frame, yet another frame. And when several frames are put together, we will have to join those frames in order to have the idea of the size of that animal or organism, and we will not be able to appreciate beauty because our vision is fragmented in frames. So if it is of appropriate length, then we shall be able to see it in one vision or one frame of our sight. So is the length of a plot. The length of the plot should be able to be retained in our memory in single go. We should be able to remember what happens in the very beginning, what happens in the middle, and what happens towards the end, and all the incidents that happen together shall be readily available in our frame of mind. Then Aristotle discusses the types of the plots. He says simple plots are there, complex plots are there, and episodic plots are also there. Simple plots are unidirectional as far as change of fortune is concerned. They are just like one man show or one man story proceeding without any interruption. Then there are plots called as complex plots. Complex plots have discovery and thereafter reversal. They may have discovery or reversal or the both of them. After discovery, the characters are either united or disunited because of their personal interest as far as their fortune proceeds from beginning towards the end. And thereafter, episodic plots are there. They are full of episodes in form of journey. One episode happening at one place of journey, and when journey proceeds, another place comes bringing another incidents, and then another incidents. They are not well knitted together. No proper and logical development is not there. Whatever is probable and necessary is also not there. Such type of plots are tried by the worst type of the playwrights. Aristotle says that good poets also try the episodic plots because they can't help the increasing dramatic competence. According to Aristotle, for composition of tragedies, complex plots are the best because they involve discovery and reversal. Aristotle also quotes the example of Oedipus. It is a tragedy by Sophocles. It is a tragedy of the ancient Greek literature. He quotes the examples of discovery and reversal. So, he says that episodic plots should not be tried for composition of tragedies. Episodic plots serve the purpose of epic poetry because epic poetry is voluminous, and he says when 8 to 10 tragedies are put together, it can be a full match to one single type of the epic. This way, Aristotle discusses various types of plots and the length of the plot, definition of the plot, and parts of the plot. We shall be taking some other topic from paper first, that is principles of criticism or literary theory. But the critic will not change. Initially, we will continue with the same critic, Aristotle. Thank you so much.